Today is the 10th of June, and we have had many projects trying to clean and pressure wash, replace broken boards. We've had family in town, which has been wonderful, but the garden doesn't wait for you. So this is the Honey Crisp, and I'm finally getting the leader from the center to make a nice strong tree, more like this one. This is the Rubinette. Lots of trees. I'm waiting till probably the end of June so that the June drop, all the apples go. There's some squash in there, which I'm gonna let go and shade. I've been pulling out the chives because there's narcissus, or totally forgotten what the other common daffodils, which are super toxic, and I really don't want edibles with toxic because my kids come in and rip stuff. So I've been slowly pulling out those. This just keeps dropping its seed and coming back every year. I think it's dianthus. Lots and lots of potatoes. We recently found out my husband has type 1 diabetes, and they don't really want you eating a whole lot of carbs, and I've got tons of potatoes, so I guess the kids and I are going to be eating them. But I have some sunflowers and leaf hoppers. I hate them. They're everywhere. They're sap suckers. Beans and stuff that were supposed to be climbing, but they keep trying to go underneath instead of climbing the sunflowers. They're all in my hair. So I'll have to work on that. We've had a very, very dry weather, and I'm learning some things. So my squashes are getting shaded by the potatoes, so they're behind, which isn't good. Potatoes can actually make berries, which are poisonous. Where is it with my camera? Don't eat the berries. See, my little squash is in the back. Little squash. Borage everywhere, and some potatoes that are looking sad. I have different kinds of potatoes, if you can't tell. And then again, my squashes are getting shaded, so it's kind of bad. Raspberries, they're doing fine. And I'll go over there in a minute. We have peas, lots of delicious peas. Yummy. Zinnias with some golden purslane, which has omega-3s. And I'm just really overwhelmed this year. So much going on that I've been kind of neglecting my garden. I didn't remember how tall garlic got. And it's shading out my tomatoes, which were doing great. They had a head start, and now they're kind of behind. My gigantic pumpkins were eaten by a rabbit, of course. So it might be too late, but my daughter is trying again. Kales. I'm thinking this is probably slugs. Resina calendula. More greens. Again, these have been shaded out. I'm really loving this Tokyo Bacana. It is just like the perfect lettuce for sandwiches. It's like, or hamburgers, it's perfect. Again, obviously, we have, I think it's slugs. I have seen the little yellow caterpillars. And this must be, I've been dropping slug bait. Ouch, it's really pokey. I planted, this is not my favorite radish. Focus, you can do it. It's super, super duper spicy. And I love spicy food, but my family and I prefer not spicy radishes. So I've been trying to weed in here everywhere, and I have all these plans, and then I just let them go. Look at my sad little watermelon. And then we have some cucumbers, more watermelon, nicotiana. This butterhead. I also am pulling out all of my mescaline mix because it's just a pain in the butt. Oh, that bird is eating my strawberry back there. Do you see that? It's the towies. The towies are eating my strawberries. Little munchkin. Anyway, we have strawberries everywhere. Everywhere. And I just throw them here and they're like a weed. But I love it. It's a great weed. A weed that tastes good when you eat it. But anyway, I wanted to point out too, there's a huge difference in, so like look at how small these potatoes are. This soil, I did not use the Mel's mix, which is 1 part coconut coir, no, 1 part peat moss. Coconut coir is not the same. It doesn't work quite as well. 1 part peat moss, 1 part vermiculite. Do not use perlite. And then 1 part, a mix of 3 different composts or more. This one I used I bought a really good supposedly mix and it had some sand in it. I mean, look at how small these are when you compare same potatoes. I mean, it's just astounding, the difference. It's just super obvious. And I'm not sure what happened over here, but look at my chamomile. I did have someone helping me water. So here's my sweet potatoes. Again, this is the sandy soil mix that's not as good as Mel's mix. And these are just abysmal. So, yeah. I'm not going to do the mescaline mixes anymore. I just like romaine. I like the Tokyo Bacana, the butterhead lettuce, the romaine's here. Got little types of squashes down there, which is like a zucchini, but they're round. Zinnias are starting to pop up. I mean, even the differences in my onions from the different soils is pretty amazing. And then again, I love the peppers are just really sad. I mean, one's trying to put out a pepper already, but that's not gonna. And just to show you what real life is, look at these weeds everywhere. And this is the bane of my existence. Whoever plants morning glory on purpose is insane. I mean, there's nettles in here, which I grabbed with my bare hand the other day, which is smart. I thought it was something else. I thought it was blackberries. I mean, look at all of these weeds and then these holes, which I think are, I can't tell if they're voles or shrews. I have both. I mean, just so much work to be done. So much work to be done. On the plus side, the blueberries that were looking sad are starting to do better. We throw our citrus peels out here because you can't really compost them. I have an Aronia berry, which I just recently purchased. I have covered my blueberries, which are going to be getting soon. My honeyberry. And this one, you don't want to put the bird netting close because it'll just pop the berries off, which I've already done a lot of. I have, you know. Hi there. Zip. There's my corn. Some is well, some is not. More squash. I'm going that way. Zip. And then really quickly, let's see. Is there any cherries on this? I thought there was like, yeah, look. I have like 4. Over here, I made a mixture of 1 gallon of vinegar, 2 tablespoons of Dawn dish soap, and 1.5 cups of Epsom salts to try and kill a border. And you can see it starting to work. And then I just take a weed torch and with a hose and burn it. This one looks like my fig has not died, which is amazing. It didn't do super great. I was really surprised. This is the Olympian fig. And so I bought another one, which is brown turkey. So I'll have 2 different types of figs. I don't know if these will actually drop seed, but this is my asparagus. Pear trees are looking okay. I'm having these weird black beetles that I've never seen before, and I don't like them. So I think this one was this the tree that had a couple apples? I can't remember. remember if it was this one. I always feel on the spot when I'm filming. I thought it was that one. Maybe they dropped. Bummer. If it dropped the apples. And they're pretty young, so I would be, yeah, it did drop. Let's see. Dropped the, okay, so it was this one. Oh well, it's still pretty young. I wouldn't have expected fruit anyway. Here is an elderberry. And another elderberry. Jerusalem artichokes, which I just might move. I don't know. This one is my gummy berry, and I don't know that it's gonna get any fruit, even though it had some flowers. Well, I see like one right here. Little teeny one yet. Trying to figure out what to do all along here. And I've been pulling things out here and planting stuff. I want my camellia to look better. I love camellia. Been training my grapevine over this way, the little tendrils. And my peach trees. So here's, let's go this way so there's a better view, maybe. Here's one peach tree. This is the older one, and it has one peach in there. I think only one on that whole tree, but that's okay. These are still pretty young, and I moved them. This one, I'm either going to have to support or reduce some of the fruit. But this one's got a lot of peaches on it. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you let it produce too much too young, sometimes it can resent that and not produce so well afterwards. So just to show, this is my other project over here. So I'm hoping to put some rhodies intermixed here, but I've got hardy fuchsias under each window with some hostas. And then I'm trying to figure out what to do in front of our garage. This, I'm just waiting for it to bloom to see what color it is, and then I'm gonna move it. But I wanna do the same thing on either side. And then I got a passion flower, and I have different places I could put it, like over here, or over in the middle. This rose, I'm pretty sure, is dead. I've got the crocosmia in the back. And some very sad, I think that's a rhodie, not an azalea. And this was super happy, but something's been munching on it. Something's been munching on it pretty heavily. But it was so happy when I moved it here, and now it's lunch. But anyway, I guess the last thing I was gonna show is just a practical example. My husband put the posts in, and he didn't put them in the right spot. It's hard to weed whack through this fencing, so you really want the wood chips to extend beyond where your perimeter is. And so I poured the Dawn dish soap mixture that I told you, the Epsom salt Dawn dish soap, and then I took a weed torch, because when the grass dies, it burns super easy, and not in a way that would catch the wood chips on fire. I mean, you be smart, use a hose, you know, common sense. But it worked really well. The crabgrass obviously took a little extra work, and so I did another dousing yesterday, but this time with a sprayer, not a watering can. So we'll see if that's as effective, because I want to move my base a little farther out, at least like a foot, right? And then just to make our life easier. So anyway, happy gardening, everybody.